Happy opening weekend, college football fans. If you're watching this on Saturday, September 2nd, it means I'm already drunk. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that anymore. I think I'm more than put in my time for those 12 p.m. kickoff turn-ups. If you clicked on this video, it means you're either a fellow fan or perhaps a fellow alumni of the Big Sky Conference. So I invite you one and all to sit back, relax, as I absolutely tear apart some of these logos in this league, and a very happy Big Sky Conference kickoff to you and yours. If we're going to talk about the worst logo in this league, we got to go and just get it out of the way. Montana State, number 12. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that petty. Not Sacramento State. I've been watching Big Sky Athletics since my freshman year in 2010, which, like, just saying that out loud makes me feel insanely old. And as a result, I've been plagued with looking at this logo for 13 years now, and never once has it inspired any kind of emotion from me. This has always just been the most vanilla, plain Jane, boring, mid-level logo, which actually kind of sums up Sacramento State's athletic programs like as a whole. There's nothing really going on with this logo. There's way too much white space. It is so boring. I'm so sick of looking at it. But as some fun extra content, I did want to go ahead and highlight some old logos for all of these teams here, because for most of these teams, we will see that old, vintage, classic, iconic, collegiate look. So let's just go ahead and look at some of Sacramento State's logos here, including this beauty here from the 90s, which is an absolute sign of the times. Like, this is the most 90s college logo I've ever seen, and I'm here for it. At number 11, we've got Cal Poly. Again, for kind of the same reason that we had Sacramento State at number 12. This logo just doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, it's just a CP, kind of boring and a little vanilla, and we've got a lot of better logos ahead. But again, some old logos here on the screen. Now, I've kind of been following this conference long enough to remember this old logo here, which doesn't really feel that long ago that this was like the primary logo, and I'm glad that they did change it, kind of clean it up a little bit to just the CP that they're rolling with now, because there's just a lot of text, and this is just a little too busy, but I still do like it. I like Cal Poly's colors, kind of similar to Sacramento State, like a green and gold, and this isn't bad. At number 10, it's gonna be the Portland State Vikings. I actually remember specifically when they rebranded into this, it's like a shield logo is what they're going for, because they're the Vikings. They wanted to go with this whole like Viking sort of vibe, hence the shield with the big PS on it. I thought maybe I would warm up to this a little bit. Over the years, it just has not done anything for me. It's just kind of whatever. I'm not in love with that shield logo, unlike their old logos, which I've got over here. Like, we see a lot of great stuff here. My favorite is probably the actual Viking ship itself with Portland State. Huge fan of that look. Cracking into our single digits, we've got UC Davis. So I've kind of just already gotten all the California ones out of the way, and that wasn't intentional, but here we are. Also, it might be worth pointing out that Cal Poly and UC Davis that we're looking at here are the only two schools in this conference that are just in football only, but I felt compelled to include them because a Big Sky Conference football list wouldn't be complete without them. Yeah, UC Davis, I love that they're using this logo as their official primary logo, because it does have a very historic look to it, especially that C looking like the Cincinnati Reds or the Chicago Bears. And you can see that inspiration for some of their old logos throughout the years. I really like all of these logos that we're looking at here, as well as a couple of these non-traditional, just letter A inside letter C vibe. Like, what is going on with this weird romance between these two horses? Those are some bedroom eyes. It's kind of making me a little uncomfortable here. Like, there's some tension there. Definitely some tension. At number 8, we've got the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, or the NAU Lumberjacks, if you will. And we're starting to get in some territory here of some logos that I genuinely like. I love that this has the university word mark within like the sledge part of an axe. It's super cool. I think one of the only reasons this isn't actually higher for me is because there's so much negative space within this logo that it can only really look good on a football helmet or with a solid colored background. But NAU also has some of the best vintage logos of the vintage logos that we're going to look at today, including these two awesome skiers that we see here. Yeah, this is one of the coolest vintage logos I've ever seen. At number 7, it's the other northern directional school, Northern Colorado, the Bears.
The Bears. The Bears.
Absolutely fine logo. This would work for any college athletic department whose name is the Bears. It is completely acceptable, totally fine. Really, really cool throwback logos too, including this guy over here that looks like he's wearing glasses, which is really funny to me for no reason at all. At number 6, the Idaho Vandals. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for this logo, and I can't really explain why. I think it's just because I really like the University of Idaho as a whole. I've been to Moscow once. I almost died in a car accident. I think that was suppressed in my mind for a while. I kind of forgot about that. But I was driving solo between Pullman and Moscow. I was like 15 years old. Maybe I was 17. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, fond memories there. One of the last things that almost went through my eyes was the logo for the University of Idaho. I like looking at this logo. It brings life to me. I really like this color of yellow, and I love the font for Vandals. I think it looks great going right across the big I for Idaho. Yeah. Marty, what do you think? You agree? Yeah, that's a big 10-4. I was just about to move on, but then I forgot. Old logos of Idaho, obviously been keeping the Vandal vibe going on throughout some of their old iconic logos, and not a single bad one. They're all great. Let's go ahead and kick off our top 5 with the Weber State Wildcats.
Hello, Wildcats. This is Weber Cooks, and today we're doing chili cheese nachos.
First of all, I have always loved the color combination with this team. They do such a great job at implementing their purple with white, oftentimes like a black and a gray trim going on, and those colors just always pop. I got used to seeing this logo a lot because when Weber State basketball was in town, it was absolutely like must see. It was a ticket that was always gonna sell out because Damian Lillard actually played for Weber State, and some of my best memories of going to college at the University of Montana wasn't just football related. Like I went to so many basketball games and some really fond memories of watching Weber State. For a while, that was just like kind of a rivalry that was pretty heated. I remember it well. I remember it very fondly, and I've always liked looking at this logo. Never had a bad negative thing to say about it. So go Wildcats. And as far as throwback logos go, Weber State genuinely has one of the cutest logos I've ever seen. I mean, it's not Marty cute, but it's pretty damn cute. At number 4, let's just get it out of the way. We had to put this somewhere. It's Bobcats. It's Montana State. Here's the deal. I don't hate Montana State. I dislike Montana State.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I actually spent my first year in college at Montana State before transferring to the University of Montana. And so to be honest, I don't mind ranking them this high. Like I have nothing but respect for their athletics, for the campus, and for their academics for sure. Like it's just like a smarty pants school.
I pure, straight hate you. But God damn it, do I respect you.
When I say stuff like this, it makes me feel so old. I'm old enough to remember when their primary logo looked like this. When I got accepted to Montana State as a senior in high school, I was like wearing shirts with this logo. And so I like this older one and this newer one for different reasons. I will say Montana State has like arguably some of the best throwback logos that we're gonna look at today, including some of these over here that say MSC, because at one point, Montana State was known as Montana State College, not Montana State University. At my freshman orientation, they gave out these t-shirts with this old logo that I've never seen since. It was my favorite shirt as a student at Montana State. I kind of wish I still had this shirt. Montana State is all love. It's all love. It's all love, Bobcat fans. But there's no way in HELL double hockey sticks that I'm going to put Montana State University over the University of Montana. And that's what we've got at number 3 with the Grizzlies. If we were ranking these teams based on the strength of some of their vintage logos, for me, there's no question that University of Montana would be number 1. Most of these like old and vintage and alternative logos I've like worn or owned on articles of clothing at some point, and I've just felt like super cool and proud to wear all of these. Looking at the primary logo as it is, I mean, it's matching on my hat here. It's just a script. It says GRIZ in this kind of varsity, athletic, collegiate university. I don't know how many other adjectives I can throw at this. And obviously, I've always been a huge fan of this logo. I mean, this is my team. I graduated from this school. At number 2, we've got Idaho State with the Bengals. Just a banger logo through and through. Black, orange, and white are never going to look bad together. I actually think this looks better than the Cincinnati Bengals logo, which is perhaps a sizzling hot take to make. With, again, some of my favorite vintage logos for any of the teams that we've explored so far. There's a lot of intensity and ferociousness coming out of this Bengal tiger. And yeah, this looks intimidating. It looks impressive. This is just a very stately, stoic logo. That brings us to number 1. This pains me so hard to say. Eastern Washington University has the best logo in the Big Sky Conference. Ugh. This goes back to what I was saying with Montana State. I just dislike Montana State. I hate Eastern Washington.
I just hate them because they They low down, they dirty, they some snitches.
I hate that ugly red turf. I hate Cooper Cup and the success of that program. I hate Cheney, Washington. I once got pulled over in Cheney, Washington. Was I speeding? Yes, I was. Did I get a ticket? No, I didn't. Did it slow me down? It sure did. Cheney, Washington. It's just so boring. What is there to do? Except maybe appreciate your cool logo. Because it is cool. It pains me to say, I'm reminded a lot of fellow Eastern Washington University, Washington State, go Cougs, where we can actually see the letters in the school that make up the logo of their mascot. It's super cool that we can see both the mascot, an eagle, and we can see the letters of the school, and they don't have to compensate by showing something like we saw. Let's take Weber State for an example, where we've got the mascot up here and the school name down here. No. With Eastern Washington, it's all just contained within this super cool piece. Red, white, and black. Looks sick, and this is a banger logo. Probably one of my favorites in collegiate athletics as a whole. As a side note, it was really hard finding an old logo for Eastern Washington because actually up until the 70s, they were known as the Savages. They changed their name, thankfully, but that makes it difficult to find a vintage logo. I did find this logo here, which is nice, you know, handsome looking eagle with EWU. And I also was able to find this old mug. I would love to own this mug. Actually, it's really cool. As it stands, we're sipping out of our beautiful Alamo mug, still just drinking coffee to wake up. We got to wrap this up because I got games to watch. And so do you, sports fans. Thanks so much for clicking. Thanks so much for hanging out. I wish y'all nothing but the best for your teams this college football season. Go Grizz.